Awesome. Thanks, Miles. For everyone that doesn't know me yet, I'm Dr. Josh Wagner, creator of Patient Mastery, where we help great chiropractors double practice, be seen as the go-to doc in your community, and have more time off with the people you love, doing the things you love. Make sure you could take notes on this presentation. I'm going to share slides. I'm going to go through the reason you're on here. 6 must-have edits on your Chiro website without having to buy a whole new website. I don't sell websites, nothing like that. And I promise you, when you make these, as the days, weeks, months, years go by, you will get so many more new patients without ad spend, without posting to social media, none of the stuff that, if you're anything like me, I didn't get into chiropractic to have to be a social media rock star or pour money into Facebook. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with paid advertising, but everything I'm going to share with you today, if you make these tweaks, it will make a tangible difference both right away and over the long run for free organic new patients rather than them going to your website, getting confused, and then going to either a colleague neighbor or maybe not even going to a chiropractor because it didn't make sense to them. So with that, make sure you could take notes on this. And I would really recommend, if you've got Facebook up, put it away. If your phone's out, just put it down. Be with me, because it's the time that you get distracted by a message or a ding that one thing I may have said could have made the difference for your next new patient showing up. With that, first thing I want you to write down with the paper you have, how many new patients are you getting on average a month, specifically from like organic Google? Hopefully when a new patient comes in, you're finding out their source, referral, a promotion, an advertisement, Google. Was it a patient referral, a provider referral? So write that down. How many new patients a month? And then next to it on the other side of the page, how many do you want to get? Because I've never met a chiropractor who didn't want more new patients. It's the lifeblood of the practice. And as long as you know how to, we call it start them in patient mastery. So we're not closing, we're not selling, we're never saying anything you wouldn't say to your own mother. Starting them on the opportunity to get their life back, following your recommendations, paying out of pocket, and you creating a raving fan and referral source. So you got how many new patients on average you're getting, how many you want to be getting a month, and then under how many you want to be getting per month, what would that translate to in monthly collections? Because you probably also want more monthly collections and profits, not just more new patients. There's no point in getting more new patients who are just one visit and then disappear because you didn't have a process to have them get care and pay you, especially when insurance doesn't contribute or cover. Okay, so you got those two numbers. Let's dive in. And I'm sharing this because after a decade, or I'm teaching this, after a decade of helping chiropractors grow, one of the things we do with all of our members and clients is we give them right away a website critique. So a video of their website that they can give to their website company with easy tweaks to make to start getting more new patients, as well as their Google SEO and Google My Business. It is so rare that I see a Chiro website that has all of these 6. Now, some of you may have all of these 6 watching this, and that's awesome, high five. But 95% of chiropractors don't, and you are losing new patients who would have chosen to come to you, but your website got them confused. So let's dive in, and I'm gonna go through each of these 6 right now. Give me a thumbs up or something in the chat if you could see my screen. Or like say ready or something. Yep. Okay, awesome. Okay. And I see a hand raise, Olivia, I guess that's a thumbs up. Okay, 6 must-haves. Again, Dr. Josh Wagner. We do seminars all throughout the country. This is from a couple of years ago in Dallas. And all we're focused on is you having the practice you deserve and helping more people heal. And like I said, get ready to take notes and remove distractions so you get the most value out of this. Number 1, write this down. New patient call to action. Now, what does that mean? You may not know what call to action means. I'm going to show you exactly. I'm going to take one of our members' websites who gets easily 50 plus new patients a month and pretty much doesn't do any paid advertising. A lot of it is because of what I'm going to show you. And I'm taking screenshots of her website. So the call to action is this right here for her. And this is what I recommend you could tweak it slightly. Book online today for your complimentary consult. Now, notice how complimentary consult, at least in the US, a consult means the conversation with the doctor. It's not an exam, it's not x-rays, it's not treatment. And if consult doesn't translate in your country, change it to what it would be. But there's two things right here. And then you see the subheadline. Let's start with a complimentary consultation. She defines it, clinical history, with the chiropractor to see if we can help. If not, we'll let you know who can. There's three important things in this call to action. First, it's complimentary. Free. Complimentary is just a little bit more professional of a word. So it's like a no lose. Even if you're all cash and you have that issue with patients wanting to use their insurance and then your CA doesn't navigate it well guess what? Complimentary is a better deal than a copay. So right away, you're overcoming that obstacle. Second, you're saying it's with the chiropractor or with the doctor. I would even have that up here, complimentary consult with the doctor. So they know it's with a qualified licensed professional, not perhaps a tech CA or an assistant. And the third is this line here. If we can't help you, we'll let you know who can. That is what's called unneediness. And it's one of the pillars that we teach in patient mastery that causes patients to want to pay you, want to follow your recommendations, trust you, respect you, want to refer to you, because it's the opposite energy that most chiropractors are taught. Most chiropractors are taught, we need to see as many people as possible. We need to see everyone in the town. We need to see them for as many visits as possible, because if the PVA isn't high enough, we look bad to our coach and we're not a good chiropractor. And all that does is ooze neediness. And that's the number one relationship killer. It doesn't matter if it's romantic or doctor-patient. So when you tell a person right away on their website, on their scheduling link, it's one of the first things you're going to say to a patient in person in your consult, that if we can't find what we're looking for, if we can't help you, we'll tell you who can. We'll tell you who can in the community. So you can take as much of this copy right away and bring that to your website person and make sure they are changing that. Kelly, where it says click here for more information, what does that say? So, okay, this is a picture. This isn't the actual website, so I can't click it and show you, but I can guarantee you it takes the person to the same place that this book online now does, which is their new patient scheduling link. And by the way, you're welcome. I would have your new patients, your scheduling link here only be for new patients. A lot of times I'll go to a chiropractor's website and I'll click on, I want to schedule, I want to see how easy it is. And it'll be like 3 different types of new patients, 2 types of re-exams, 3 types of treatments. And it's really confusing. And a new patient it's easy for you to know, oh, just click that. But for someone else, they don't go to your website every day like you do, or they haven't been intricately involved. Just have new patient complimentary consult. Keep it simple, one thing. Your existing patients, they can call your office, they can text your office manager. Maybe they have a separate link, but for your website, which is really geared towards potential patients, keep it simple.
Dr. Josh, can I chime in for 2 seconds?
Totally.
So 2 things I want to say. The complimentary is brilliant to do that. I will say in my own personal practice, when I used to have on our big window at the front, always for complimentary consultation with the doctor, stop. And this was for walk-by traffic. And so it wasn't on the website as an example at this time, but it worked great to do a complimentary consultation. Once you're speaking with the doctor, with the patient, it's great. And the other thing you say there about, if not, we'll let you know who can, 1000%, that is the most important thing you can do, is make sure patients don't feel the sense of like you're pressuring them. And we got to first find out if you're even in the right place. And so both of those things are just super critical to do. And I agree 1000% with that.
And that, like I mentioned, that neediness energy, it's really been influenced in the profession from, even though chiropractic can help anyone, even like, hey, I'm the most philosophical chiropractor, but that energy thrown onto people who've never experienced chiropractic, it makes you feel like every other profession that gets the bad rap of, what's the term? Like if you have a hammer, you see everything as a nail.
Right.
So it just feeds into that stereotype that the public has of, oh, once you go to chiropractor, you have to go forever, or chiropractors say they could fix everything. And even though, yes, again, anyone who gets care is going to be better off than not getting care, you've got to be strategic on how you connect initially with a new patient, no differently than, I'll just say romantic. You see someone you're attracted to and you're single, you don't ask them to marry them like in your first
Right.
conversation. It's just too aggressive. Um, so write this down with words that feel good for you. Get it switched on your homepage. And when I say seen immediately without scrolling down, that means whether it's on your mobile or on a laptop, uh, you don't have to scroll down to see this call to action. It's not buried on another page. It's not, 3 scrolls down. It's right away. Super important. Okay, good for number one. Just this is a game changer. Because most chiro websites, the call to action here, it'll say something like, family wellness for everyone. Well, you know what? Your best new patients are people who are suffering with a condition. And if they see family wellness for everyone, immediately what they think is, I don't know if this is for me. That's pretty much what they're thinking. Like, I have a bulging disc. This seems a little bit too maybe like relaxation spa for the family, kind of um, elective care. No, like I need a doctor. I need an expert. So be careful how much you're spouting in terms of just idealistic philosophy right on the top of the homepage. Woman running through the field with the thing like on her floating in the wind. Um, Stereotypical Chiro website stock image. It's not serving you. Okay, next one following up with this. Your new patient schedule button integrated to your calendar. I alluded to it in the past of having just new patient spots available. This is Dr. Winnie's right here, book online now. Here's where chiropractors or the website companies mess it up. Someone clicks this, and then it goes to a page where they can put their name, phone number, email, and then a message box. And then it says, we'll get back to you. Well, I don't know about you, but it's 2025 now. Even if it was 7 years ago, most people seeing that are going to go, I don't know when they're going to get back to me. Let me go to the next one with the most Google reviews down the street. So I say this to my clients all the time. If it's harder for someone to book a new patient online with you than it is to order a pizza on Uber Eats, you are losing new patients because people are used to in our society having to be able to do things instantly. When they see they can leave a message and then who knows when an assistant is going to get back to them, and then is it going to be a phone call? You don't know if you can pick up. Is it going to be email? I don't know if I'm going to see it. And then it's just going to be that tag game of chase. It causes people to say, let me go to someone who's got it more set up and dialed in, and I could get in tomorrow. So most websites, you probably have a scheduling system, or maybe it's in your EHR. You have a website company. There are widgets that just connect the two of them, or maybe one of the companies, the website company or your EHR, has the widget to connect. Just ask. This is 2025. This shouldn't be a big deal. This should be like knowing how to adjust. Someone can book. And if you have automatic scheduling, another big red flag I see on Chiro websites, and this could be from your EHR, is the person has to literally create an account to then be able to schedule. So that whole thing, like create, what's your email, pick a password. We're going to send you an email to verify you're a real person. Click that. I don't know about you, but when I have to do that, next. So back to your scheduling. If someone has to put in more than their name, email, and phone number, and then be able to choose a day and a time, if they have to do anything more complicated than that, you are losing new patients every single month. Barrett, sorry, just a quick question. No apologies. Doesn't Jane require a forum? Yeah, I endorse Jane. I love Jane. I'm one of their ambassadors, and I've been telling them for a year they are crushing their clients' practices because of how difficult it is to schedule a new patient. I don't know why they haven't changed it, but beyond me, Twilight Zone. Okay. This alone will get you 5+ more new patients every month. For some practices, it'll be 10+. Just making it easy to schedule. Remember, if you were ordering a pizza and you had to create an account, would you still do it, or would you go to the next pizzeria? You'd go to the next one. It's no different. We're humans. We expect things yesterday. Okay, we're good for 1 and 2. Super important. You do these, you'll get a lot more new patients. 3, most common conditions or great results section. Same thing, whatever verbiage you want. On your homepage, not on a drop-down bar, not on a different page, listing 8 to 10, you can have 12, you can be aggressive, names and images of conditions that you both want to attract in and you see great results with. Sorry. Why? Because, and here's where chiros go wrong in the website companies. The website companies put your services, and a lot of chiro services, half of the chiropractors don't even know what they are. You're naming like new shockwave equipment, your latest DRX thing, your functional medicine protocol and nutrition. And you know what? The typical public, they don't know what laser does. They don't know what shockwave does. They don't know what your chiropractic technique does. And no matter what you say about it, they know, and everyone's going to say their technique is the best. So if you let go of all that and you realize people are coming to you with headaches, with back pain, with disc issues, with sciatica, and you just name those conditions and ideally put a picture because it makes it more real, when a person sees that, you don't have to explain how you treat it, why your treatment works, or why your treatment is better than others. You don't have to do any of that. Just list it under a title that says something to the effect of conditions we treat, conditions we see great results with. People will just see it and say, oh, great, they take care of headaches. And that's what I'm suffering from. And when I say below the website fold, the fold is as soon as you start scrolling down or up, whatever you call it, like the next thing they say. So don't bury it all the way at the bottom. Don't bury it on a drop-down page. People aren't going to the drop-down pages, but they are scrolling down because they want to see what I'm going to share next. But have them see these conditions first. And of course, depending on your state, your country, follow the guidelines for verbiage you're allowed to use. Some countries you can't say treat. So obviously just play it right, and you don't need to make any big claims. I mean, seriously, the way the human brain works, just writing common conditions. You don't have to say you see great results or treat it. You don't even have to make a claim, and the person will see the name of the condition and the picture and say, oh, good, they take care of this. That's all you need. Okay, are we good on number 3? Awesome. Okay, next one. Your picture, doctor's picture on the homepage. So here's the reason why. Chiropractors, unlike a nutritionist, even an acupuncturist, a therapist, people want to see who's actually going to be touching them, because everyone knows a chiropractor, it's going to be hands-on. A nutritionist, it might be across a desk. Therapist. And the most common patient is a middle-aged female, and even though it's evening out now, the most common chiropractor is a male. So we're just talking about female to male. It's like, okay, who's going to have their hands on me? Most chiropractors have their picture on the website, but it's tucked away under a drop-down menu that says About Us or Meet the Team. People aren't going there, especially on their phones. They can't even find that. So make sure it's on your homepage. And then here's a couple of other tweaks. So this is Dr. Winnie Wong, whose site I'm sharing. This is her picture on it. A couple things. Be in your clinic attire that you wear normally in practice, or a family picture is fine. And of course, you're not going to be in a clinic attire for your family. The reason I mention this is because a lot of docs, they might be in like professional, like a shirt and tie or a lab coat on their picture on their website, but then you walk in and they're not in that same clinical attire, and it's a disconnect. You might go down in value to the patient and perception. Or you have a picture like this, which I Googled and found, of random chiropractors. I think these are 2 brothers that own a clinic. So not very, not smiling, look sweaty, not people I want their hands on me. So just be smart in the picture. And you don't need a professional photographer. You don't need to go spend 200, $300 for this. The phones nowadays, especially if you put it on portrait mode, are good enough. Have decent lighting, get your CA to take a picture of you in the clinic. It's enough. And put it on your homepage. So if you have a good picture, but it's tucked away, have your web person move it to your homepage. Any questions on this one? Now I know, Barrett, is it a good idea to combine 1 and 4? So meaning having your picture all the way at the top, it doesn't matter. I'll leave it at that. It doesn't have to be the first thing they see. Good question. Now, some of you may be seeing, and the next two, like these are all pretty simple and basic. Yet, I challenge you, if you go to your website, you will not have all 6. And it's not your fault, it's your website companies. And if I go to 100 chiropractors, 95 won't have all 6. And this is also an area where I notice chiropractors lose out on growing and building their practice, is they don't have the fundamentals and the foundations and the basics set. What I'm talking about is a picture that looks welcoming on the homepage, having a call to action that positions you as unneedy, the go-to, trustworthy, easy to get started, complimentary consult with the doctor, showing the conditions rather than the services you provide, because no one knows the services. And even if they did, that's not what they're there for. They're there for you to tell them what they need because they don't know. That's why it hasn't resolved it on its own or based on anyone else they've gone to. These are all basics and fundamentals. And it's no different than when it comes to inside your practice when they come in, that greeting from the CA, your new patient phone call. Let's say they don't book online, but they call. Just saying the right things on that new patient phone call script. Showing patients in your consult that you listen to them, that you want what they want, that you found out it's not just the condition, but it's how it impacts their life, and that your whole purpose as their doctor is to help get them back to their life, not teach them to be a chiropractic student, not get them to understand subluxation, not make sure they come in 72 times over 6 months. No, it's to help them get back to their life. Having fee structures that a 5-year-old could understand, even if you're the most expensive person in town. Having templates for care that are super simple to read. They don't look like mortgage contracts or timeshare sales, which a lot of stuff in this profession looks like. And what I'm getting at is, as chiropractors, we oftentimes chase the shiny objects. Oh, that sounds really cool. Let me test this out, even though it's never been proven in the field. And I saw it on a Facebook ad, rather than owning the basics, the new patient phone call, your website, your consult, your recommendations, your fees, your care protocols. When you own those, like, practice doubles pretty easily. But when you're chasing things left and right, we get stuck in the same wheel, and the foundations aren't there. That's when chiropractors get stuck, like same collections month after month after month, and oftentimes profits are shrinking because all the other expenses are going up. Okay, moving on to number 5. Your Google Map image, so where you're located, showing your 5-star reviews. So most all websites have your Google Map at the bottom of the page. It's just very standard. However, a lot of them are missing this little piece, which shows social proof. So you could see Winnie, and this was, I probably took an image of this 2 years ago. She probably has over 300 now. She had 121 reviews. If you don't have 100 or more, that should be one of your first priorities with your team. Have a bonus structure around it of, every 10 you get, they get a bonus, and hitting 100 by whatever date you think is possible. You also want to have the most in your area. So if you hit 100, but your neighbor's got 121, well, let's get to 125 as soon as possible. Now, this is a really simple fix, and it should be at the bottom of the homepage. That's just the natural position. What a lot of website companies do wrong, or people that do it, is they take the code from Google and they put it on your website, and then this doesn't show up. There's 2 different codes, and they should know this. But essentially, there's one code for this map that will include your reviews, and there's a code that doesn't. Now, if you don't have any reviews or you have like less than 20, maybe don't have it yet. Wait till you get up higher. But essentially, you should have that social proof because everyone wants to see where you are. Everyone, is how simple is it going to be to go to this doctor, to go back multiple times to get care. So you got to have the Google map and make sure you have the reviews integrated because it just makes sense. Okay. And the last one. So again, none of this is complicated. Any of you that look at your website and write a email to your web person saying, hey, these two are missing, these three, we're not talking about more than 10, 15 minutes of work here. So this is not expensive. Anna, how do we find the correct code? Whoever did your website. I don't even know. I just know it exists. But whoever built your website, just take a screenshot of yours and be like, the Google stuff isn't here. Go to a chiropractor who does have it, show them, and they should know. If they don't, you need another web person. Okay, address and phone number, top of homepage. Now, this is super simple, but I'm going to go a little deeper into it. Most chiropractors don't even have that. And one of the first things a person wants to see, besides your face on the website, like who's going to be touching me, is where are you? Like, is it near my picking up Johnny from school or when I go to tennis lessons on Saturdays? They just want to know where you are. So keep it simple. It's just also professional standards. Phone number, address at the top. I can't tell you how many Chiro websites I go to. And even scrolling to the bottom, I don't see an address. I go to contact us and there's a stupid form and no address. And it's like, are you just doing virtual consults? So again, basics. Now, here's another aspect of the basics. Remove the social media icons. Most websites, they make your website, they have you fill out a form. What's your Twitter handle? What's your YouTube? What's your Facebook? What's your Instagram? And if you have any, they put the icons right up here. Why do you think you should take those down? I'm going to give you two reasons. But why do you think? Throw it in the chat. Why do you think you should take off your social media icons? Barrett, they're distractions. Eric, distraction. Sean, it causes them to leave the website without scheduling. Okay, all correct. Great answers. And it was my second answer. So the first one is, if I was looking for a new dentist and I went, I see good reviews, proximity to me, I click on the Google map, it brings me to their website. And at the top, I saw a bunch of social media icons. Immediately in my mind, their professionalism and quality would go down and decrease. Because I'm thinking, wow, is this doc shooting videos online or taking care of patients? What's more of a priority? And as chiropractors, we don't even have the reputation that dentists do. So something that has me help chiropractors so well, even though I'm a chiropractor, is that I can see in the mind of a non-chiropractor, a patient, and I can understand what they see, whether it's fees, communication, your website. And most chiropractors, something happens once you get your degree or you've been to enough DE seminars or choose your chiro fist pumping thing, you lose the ability to understand what it's like from a patient's point of view. That's what a patient's thinking when they see social media icons. Professionalism just went down. The next thing is exactly what Barrett, Eric, and Sean said. If they click on that, 99.9 out of 100 chiropractors do not have really quality social media stuff. So instead of going to your Instagram or your Facebook or your YouTube and being captivated by your content, they're going to see notifications and messages from other people. They're going to click on that. And then they're going to forget they were looking for a chiropractor. And when they remember, they're not going to go back to you. They've already lost it. That's why. And, paying a service hundreds of dollars a month to post a little image on your Facebook feed and Instagram feed every day is not getting any new patients. So just take them off. Do what works. Call to action, conditions, online scheduling, that is super simple. You don't have to create an account. You don't have to solve an algorithm. Um, Picture of yourself in clinic attire or a nice one with the family on the homepage. Google map integrated with Google. All of this works. Um,
Hey,
and this
Dr.
is
Josh, can I ask, can I
totally,
go back to the last slide? I want to get the words out of my mouth.
yeah,
I don't know about you, but there's been, and I agree, 1000% everything you're saying, especially the social media stuff. But when you mention the address,
yeah,
maybe have you ever been on a site you're sitting in your car and you bring up their website, I need their address, and you scroll your phone, you find the address, and you go, I need to click on that address to open my Google Maps to get me GPS location. And that's one of the things I don't know whether, I know a lot of times an address, even if it's not clickable, just by highlighting it, the phone will automatically know to convert it to hey, do you want to open this in your Google Maps? But I also know you can make a link, an address clickable, literally clickable, where it'll automatically open up your Google Maps. So just one thing I'll just throw out there that
totally.
I know I've like recently I had to go to a business and I'm like, I cannot remember the address. I had to find, they had texted me the address months ago, so I didn't want to scroll through my texts. I opened their website and literally I can't find their address anywhere. Like is driving me nuts. So having the address right at the bottom, so when you're on a phone, the address is at the top of the website, like you have it here, and it's clickable. Something as simple as that, is such a valuable thing.
100%. Uh, like, click for directions. Sure. Yeah. Hey, anything that makes it simpler for people. Okay. Dawn writes, I apologize for joining late. I see this webinar is being recorded. Please share where I can
Yeah, we'll
find.
send the link out to
Okay.
everybody afterwards. I think it'll be
You
the
got it, Dawn.
recording will go out to everyone who joined late.
Yeah. Okay. And I want to share. So this website is Dr. Winnie Wong in Australia. Um, she came to Maine Patient Mastery as an associate. She was in Australia. The associates are kind of different. Sometimes they're just put into a practice and there's no lead doc in the practice. So this company had 3 practices. They put her in one. She's right out of school. She's a small female Asian with like not good English. English is a second language in Australia. And she had no retention and earning little. Like, people weren't staying more than 3 visits. So she's like, hey, I need to fix this. Otherwise, I'm going to get fired. She learned the patient mastery process, which I'm going to show you in a second, as an associate, tripled the volume of that practice. The doc said, whoa, you're awesome. I'm going to put you in another one of my practices isn't doing well. She tripled the volume of that practice. And then she thought, you know what? I think I could do it on my own now. And if you remember back when you started a practice from scratch, the main things of like, what do I charge? Where am I going to get my first patients, or my first 6 months of patients? She had all of those same concerns, and we deal with every single one of those. When she started her own practice, she hit 100 visits a week within 8 weeks, 2 months. She got so busy, she hired an associate in her second year. She currently has 2 associates, and literally within 2 years from scratch, 6 figures a month, all cash. If she could do it, you could do it. Now, I've alluded to this already, but how is your website viewed most by a prospective new patient? Throw in the chat. How is it viewed most? Barrett, on your phone. Yeah, perfect, guys. I showed you pictures from a laptop or a desktop because that's just easier to describe. But when you look at your website, I want you to do it on your phone. And when you send whatever edits you need to your web person, when they send back, they say like, okay, it's all updated. Make sure you look at it on your phone, because on certain website platforms, you can make edits on the desktop version and it doesn't transfer over to the mobile. So you got to make sure you check the mobile and keep them accountable. Okay, this is the part of the presentation where I give an opportunity for an attendee to drop your website URL. Actually, I think I have it here. Yep. Into the chat box, and I will give you feedback on, even though you could do this on your own, I may see something that you don't see, to pass on to your web person to make sure your website is getting the most free new patients. Sean, I saw yours first, so I'm going to open up yours. Let me get out of this. Actually, okay, let me switch over to Chrome. And we're going to go through this
While
together.
Dr. Josh is bringing up Dr. Sean Coca's website, bring up your own website on your own. I would recommend you do, right? And follow along, or do you want them or not doing that? I don't want to steal your thunder there, but should they do
You
that?
know, what I, teach their own. Okay, but let's go through Sean's together. So again, you see like why I'm looking at certain things. So I'm not even going to do it in order. I'm just going to go from top down. So the first thing is phone number up at the top right. Awesome. Great job, Sean. But what's missing at the top? Throw it in the chat. What's something missing right next to the phone number? Olivia, address. Perfect. So super simple. Web designer could do that in 10 seconds and they shouldn't even charge you for it because it should have been done. Let's go down. This is what we call the call to action. So we've got new patient special, chiropractic evaluation, only $79, total savings $171. Got it. Here's what I would suggest changing to increase value, professionalism, trust, and all that. 79 is more than most people's copay, and I get it. You may not attract anyone with in network. I don't cater to that either. I get what you mean, but it's already more than they're seeing on Facebook ads, blah, blah, blah. Complimentary consult with the doctor, no resistance, no loss. Having the line, if we can't help you, we'll tell you who can. So immediate like referral potential, trust, it makes a difference. I'm not a big fan of exclamation marks, just feels kind of 1980s. So I'd switch it to there. Next, you have, it looks like schedule an appointment. So let's see how this feels as a prospective new patient. I'm going to click. Okay. So far, this is good. Okay. It looks like this is one of them that work. Let's just do this. And got to agree. Okay. I like it. I put in my basic info. I can choose a time. Sure. That's fine. Okay. Sean, great job. That was not difficult, and you're ahead of 95% of chiropractors just by that. Obviously, tell your team to cancel that. Okay, let's go back to the homepage. So this is excellent. And it's okay if it's up there too. You'd be surprised how many people miss if it was only one or the other. Okay, I didn't get into videos because that often just takes a lot of effort, a lot of money, and it's not a game changer. But I'm fine if you have a well-done video right here. Okay, as we scroll down, remember, this is the fold right here, what you can't see initially. So we're gonna go down, we got Omaha Chiropractor. Okay, this is very common, Sean and everyone. You've got all of this copy about your mission, you, chiropractic, and guess what? In 2025, let alone 2015, no one reads this because it's longer than a Twitter quote. There's no white space. And the state of our society today, like, no, just, it's like people don't even know how to read, 8 lines without white space. Change all of this to condition, 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 and, conditions we see great results with. That's what they want to know. They don't care about your philosophy on health. They don't care about where you graduated from. They don't care about nerve interference, anything. Okay, cool. You got some stuff there. I see one condition, but yeah, let's make this section conditions. Okay, kind of cool, but no one cares. Facebook reviews. Okay, since it's real people, I like it. It's not like user or just Kimberly. Keep it. Going down. Okay, here's a good example. So we got a nice professional picture or so of the practice. The practice looks professional, like it doesn't look like you practice in your mom's basement. So I like that. But you know what could make it better? A smiling CA right here, a patient checking out, smiling, like an interaction, that it looks like there's actually, like, you're busy. Have some life in there. Oftentimes there's just it's very common for a website to have like an empty reception room, and you're just not sending an inspiring message to people. So Google reviews, and just a picture of you or you and your team or you and your family is better than this. Okay, we got Yelp reviews. proud member of. Got it. Okay, cool. So we've got the correct integration and 836, fantastic, amazing job. That's great for social proof. Got that. I mean, no one's really scrolling down this far, but I'd still say take these off unless people are telling you they're coming in because of what they saw on Facebook, what they saw on Instagram, what they saw on Twitter or YouTube. If you are getting number of people every month saying one of these, sure, leave it. Okay. Anyone see something that I missed based on the six points I shared? Throw it in the chat. Anything I missed? So we talked about that picture could be better, but let's just see. Most likely there is a picture of the doc. Okay, meet our doctors. Oh, this kills me, Sean. Or yeah, was it brothers? Lyle, Sean? Okay, this kills me because the only reason people are going to this tab, meet our doctors, is to see a picture of you. And then there's no picture of you, I don't think. So have the picture here, but also have it on the homepage. And since you have multiple chiropractors, sure, you could have all three of you on the homepage. Because that's also, now again, you're a minority of having associates, but if you just have your picture on the homepage and then someone schedules a new patient appointment and they get Matthew, it's going to feel weird, right? They're like, wait, that's not what the guy looked like, or I didn't even know there was another chiropractor. So weird, the pics used to be there. Yeah, well, that's what happens on the internet. Yeah, but make sure they're on the homepage. Okay. Anything else people see?
Can I ask a question that when you're asking what people see?
Totally.
Like on the what's your view on having a menu at the top with all those links for them to click on? I'm curious, do you
You mean all
prefer the
these?
single page or a menu with lots of stuff to look at?
You mean these things to click?
Yeah.
When you say a menu, what do you mean?
Well, that's a menu that you're clicking on this. Like you have a menu of different things you can go to versus just a single page.
Oh, got it. So for the most part, and of course, no web designer wants to tell you this because they will make 1/10 of the money, but you don't need anything else besides a single page. Like you can have all six things I shared on one page and the ability to schedule an appointment. You can have a blog, like, sure, if your blog actually gets SEO thing, have it, but no one's clicking on this blog. Contacts should all be on this page. You don't need any of these. That's the bottom line. And you could get by, not, you could thrive with a single page website that's done well with all six of these things on them. So it's not like these are hurting you necessarily, but what hurts you is when you take stuff off the main page and put them over here, meaning a picture or conditions. Like a lot of times there's a drop down for conditions. It's too late. People don't see it. Have the conditions right here. If that makes sense. Anything else people see? Or any other questions? You could, I don't know if people could unmute themselves, but just type it in the chat. And there are questions that are coming up. Does this seem doable to take the 6 points that I shared, go to your website, see which ones are missing? Because you probably have like 2, 3, or 4 of them already on there, just which ones are missing, and then write that out to your web person. And from my experience, most web people will give some bit of pushback, like, oh, you don't really need that, or, oh no, we've got it on the other page. Why do, like, just say, do it, just do it. And they shouldn't charge you an arm and a leg. The only thing that may take a little finessing is making sure you have a good scheduling system where you don't have to create an account. You can actually schedule right away. Yeah, Sean, no problem. Just saying, just do it. Oh, here's another reason why. Let me get out of this. Another reason why online scheduling is so important is because what percentage of the week is someone looking for a chiropractor when your office isn't open? So think about it. Weekends, you have a little bit more time. You're not stuck at the office. Um, you're getting ready to go in bed, go get into bed, and you realize how stiff your back is, or you can't fall asleep. Your cell phone's right there. I got to do something about this. Everyone knows at 9, 10, 11 p.m., no chiropractic office is going to be open. So you know you can't call. No one wants to leave a message. Oh, when are they going to get back to me? I would just dare to say half the time people that are looking for a chiropractor is going to be outside of normal office hours. So just think of those logistics, make it easy for them to schedule within the next few days. Okay, I'm seeing some questions come in. For Dr. Picks, what is best? Professional headshot, more informal selfie type picture, or a few pictures, a mix of stylish? Celeste, forget about hiring a professional photographer. Just get someone with an up-to-date camera, portrait mode, you in your clinic attire. You know, it could be you at the front desk. It could be you sitting on the table. That's fine. Or if you have a nice family shot that you really like and you want to share, put that up. Simple as that. I wouldn't do super informal selfie pic unless it's like informal family smiling picture. And you don't need a mix of pictures too much. Kelly, how do you feel about a place to join email list on website? Great question, Kelly. So into the chat, if you were a person, if you weren't a chiropractor, would you ever want to be on a chiropractor's mailing list? Yes or no? No, we're not trying to be mean here, but Kelly, no human I've ever met wants to be on a chiropractor's email list. And it's not because you're spamming them or because they hate chiropractors. It's because a normal human being has no interest whatsoever. Now, you should have an email list. You should be emailing your patients weekly. That's very different than someone who may be thinking about a chiropractor or wanting to go to a chiropractor. They want to schedule an appointment to get out of pain, to get their life back. They don't want to be on an email list. So that's, and you only have one shot. Like, do one thing. So if you have join our email list, schedule a new patient appointment, people get confused. I know it seems crazy, but they do. Just have one thing, schedule a new patient appointment. That's why I say don't have new patient appointment, existing patient appointment, existing a patient, re-exam, like all these options. No, one thing, new patient appointment. Yeah, so I would just, like, when someone comes in, put their email address on your email list, but don't advocate to get on your email list on your website. Okay, anything else coming?
I'd like to just chime in that what value you're bringing to everybody, because it's not just the content. These are simple, actionable things that you guys can literally do this afternoon. Like, you don't have to, like, this isn't like you're joining something. You're not, like, this is really straightforward, actionable things that they all make sense. They all bring value. They all are laser focused on the primary goal, which is getting that new visitor from on your website to book an appointment. And I think the beauty is in the simplicity of these things. And I always go back to, and we talk about this as well, like just mastering the basics. And you use that terminology of having the basics down. And this is one of those. Like, in marketing, you're marketing to get new people. Well, at the core minimum, your website should do an excellent job of doing that. And I think this brought tremendous value to people. And again, it's super actionable that you guys can take advantage of right away.
Yeah, thank you, Miles. Can I then share a minute or so on what we do outside of
Of course, absolutely.
Um,
I'll say this.
Yeah.
How you do one thing represents how you do everything. So if you like how Josh just presented this and how simple it is and actionable, just know I've watched lots of things Dr. Josh does, and they're all that way. Like, everything he teaches is simple, actionable information. So just wanted to just throw that out.
Thank you, Miles. And that's also one of the, like, the sabotages I find for chiropractors is we overcomplicate things. I think we all know that as chiropractors, but what chiropractors are taught to do by a lot of the big institutions in our profession overcomplicates things because they either were catered to what worked in the 80s when insurance covered everything, or they fall into that trap of not being able to understand a new patient who doesn't have a chiro degree and not understand the simplicity of what they need to hear and see in order to pay you out of pocket happily, even if they thought insurance or hoped would cover it, and still refer, still be happy they made the investment even before they get the results. It's been 10 years I've been coaching chiropractors and helping them double, triple profits, practice, love going in 3-day weekends. But why do we do what we do? To me, because somebody's got to help the good chiros win. Now, here's what I mean, and specifically after Miles just said that about the simplicity. We had a doc last week who started, got in, he's already got his website review, SEO updates, learning the new patient process. And I'm going to share something that might sound controversial, but I don't care because it's true. He shared two things before he started that were a real concern. And this is a doc, 25 years in practice, doing 50,000 a month, wants to get to 70, like good head on his shoulders, single doc office. And he's like, hey, just before I start, I've got to know the answers to these two things. Like, I like what I hear Dr. Josh share online, but based on my experience in this profession and being coached throughout his career, first is based on experience of coaches, are you just going to beat me down until I feel worthless to then build me back up in the image of someone else? So I don't know about you. And you know what he said, which is my answer? He's like, I had a father that did that. I don't need that as an adult, from a chiro coach. And the fact that needs to happen in our profession is sad. The second thing he said is, he's like, and I'm embarrassed asking this, but I've just had this experience in the past. Is anything that you teach or do you teach Scientology? It's like, no. And I'm not knocking it, but there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't have to be combined in a chiropractic practice. And what we find is that so many chiropractors are a few new patients, a few conversions or starts, a few retention percentage differences, a few tweaks in fees and care plans from literally going from wherever you are to another 20,000 a month pure profit increase without spending money on ads, without spending money on the next modality, without whatever. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with a new modality. There's nothing wrong with spending money on ads if it's working for you and if it's congruent. So I just want to show you some aspects what separates patient mastery. Over here, patient-centered practice growth. What I just shared with you today is like one of 250 strategies available inside the patient mastery proven process. Do you need to learn them all? No. You learn probably 12, your practice doubles. Deserving success mindset. This is where we help you get out of your own way, because chiropractors, we self-sabotage. We have the redheaded stepchild to medicine syndrome. I have coaches who work full-time in patient mastery who I get headspace coaching from. And every doc gets one-to-one help as much as you need. CEO money mastery, another aspect of our profession. Chiropractors don't know how to handle the money coming into the practice to be able to create wealth, be able to retire, knock out bad debts, and give your family a lifestyle they deserve. We show you exactly how every single dollar, no matter if you're at 20,000 or 100,000 a month, gets handled so you become the CEO of your practice. And we do that one-to-one mentoring and help. Every week, we have multiple group calls teaching, documented, outlined, proven process, in-person events. I've never seen anything profession where you get as much support. And the patient mastery proven process, we start teaching you mentally and communication-wise how to become the go-to doc. Most of that is based on your new patient experience. We teach a 6-question consult. You will get referrals right after that consult, and we don't even teach you to ask for them. It's that powerful. We teach you a 5-step recommendations you can say in less than 10 minutes, and you'd be proud if your own mother was a new patient, which, let's be honest, a lot of what chiropractors are taught, you would never say to your own mother. You wouldn't say it if your best friend came in, and you wouldn't say it if it was a medical doctor. That's our profession. And what happens, or what's combined with that conversation, is care plans, whether it's cash, insurance, a mix, that has fees that you're congruent with. It's not cookie cutter for everyone. Templates that we give you, you can plug your fees in, and you just own what you're doing, and people say yes so much easier. These 3 steps, every practice needs to master if you really want to get to your full potential. Otherwise, it's actually harmful to get a lot more new patients in, which would be this step, because the leaky bucket here, 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 or after 1, 2, or 3 visits, assuming the patient needed more than 1, 2, or 3 visits. So we show you how to do all this, plus your website, plus the SEO, before any of the other new patient strategies. And if you're serious, like you want to double your practice profits, become the go-to doc. And especially if you're stuck under $1 million a year, that's where we specialize. If you're over that, we've helped plenty. But if you're under $1 million a year in practice, guaranteed there are certain numbers of the pillars of strategies that you're just missing or weak on. And when you strengthen those, the 20,000 bump is not difficult. So if you go to patientmastery.com, you can connect with one of my coaches and they will dive in, open up the hood, and literally show you, hey, you strengthen this, you strengthen this, you strengthen this, you're missing this, do this, things are going to shift. Have at it. You can do it on your own, or you can find out what patient mastery looks like and have us help you do it yourself. I would throw it in the chat, but I don't think you guys can see it. But patientmastery.com is pretty simple. Are there any questions? I know we're pretty much at the top of the hour. Any questions I can answer before I leave you with this? And you probably get the recording today or tomorrow from Cash Practice.
I do see we got patientmastery.com listed in the chat. I'm not sure if everybody can see it, but if you haven't visited, please go visit it. I also want to just say, again, what great value you bought. And I think it's really great that you identified like the $1 million or less year practice. And the reason I say that is, we know that in businesses, there's those CEOs that are specialists of taking a company from 1 million to 5 million, and that's where their niche is. And they know it. And they know the skill set of going from 5 million to 15 million is a different CEO. And the guy that can take you from 20 million to 100 million has different skills. And to basically saying to doctors, if you're doing under $1 million, this is our sweet spot that we know we're going to help you grow. I think it's very, very, so that's you. Reach out to them and book that call and learn more. As we wrap up here, Josh, I want to just say thank you so much for taking the time to speak to everybody. I know there's people from your world that are on this call right now, and there's people from our world that are on this call, and many of them may be in both of our worlds. For those of you who don't know me or Cash Practice, or you're new to hearing this, I'll just throw out there as well. If you'd like to learn more about our company, Cash Practice, as the sponsor of today's webinar, you can go to cashpractice.com/success and learn a little bit more about us. We are in the business of helping doctors improve their patient retention. Today was all about acquiring new patients and capturing new patients. In the world of retention, I know, Josh, you handle that as well, but I'll just throw out there that's our area of expertise as well, that when doctors come to us, they use our platform for doing care planning, payment processing, email marketing, patient feedback. We've been doing this for a long time, have thousands of clients, and I recognize a lot of names on here, a number of names on here that are clients of ours. So welcome and thanks for joining us today. With that being said, if you want to watch the recording, we'll notify everybody after this webinar is over. You'll get a notification of the recording. And with that being said, Dr. Josh, thanks so much for taking the time today. We want to say thanks to everybody for joining us today, and you guys all have a great one.
Thanks, team. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.